we'll get on the campus of Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia. Jack Thompson is on the phone now. Jack Thompson's an attorney and an expert in school shootings. Jack, are you with me?
I am, Bill. Thank you.
This is the first time we've had a chance to talk about this since we got the news several hours ago. Can you piece together what you're hearing and what you're putting together that we can take from this and provide value for our viewers?
Well, one of the things authorities are going to look at is not only his computer, whoever this was, but also what else he was immersed in. What the FBI and Secret Service found after Columbine in looking at all the school shootings up to then was the common denominator being the immersion of the perpetrators in incredibly violent entertainment, most notably violent video games. And the reason why that's significant forensically is that, for example, in Red Lake, Minnesota, Jeffrey Weiss, who killed 10 near Bemidji, Native American, the FBI found that he had basically rehearsed for the massacre by playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City in order to get his heart rate down and be able to kill, which would otherwise be an unnerving event even for the perpetrator. Most recent college shooting, Dawson College in Montreal, the perpetrator was found to have trained on Super Columbine Massacre, a video game that glamorized and actually replicated the Columbine Massacre. So that's one thing that the authorities are going to be looking at, because to be able to pull this off with this high body count, Bill, one has to have rehearsed it in order to get ready to do it, and I think that's unfortunately what will be found to be the case.
One of the students we spoke to last hour, Jack, said that he had talked to his they weren't his roommates, they were his classmates, fellow students at Virginia Tech. They described the gunman as chaining the door shut behind him on that building, Norris Hall. That sounds like premeditation, does it not?
Absolutely. And typically these things are planned. You have obviously a sociopath, regardless of the fact that he planned it. We don't know what set him off, but the computer, obviously, I represented the victims' families in the Paducah school shooting, December 1, 1997, and Michael Carneal, the 14-year-old who wounded 8 and killed 3, what was on his computer was very significant because it helped explain motive, it helped explain planning. The video game Doom that he trained on was the same game that Klebold and Harris trained on to do what they did at Columbine. So all of this is going to unfold, frankly, rather quickly as we learn from the friends and associates of this person to find out, A, if he had any accomplices, B, individuals who might have known that he was planning something like this who didn't take it seriously, as in Paducah, and whether or not he filled his head and his heart and his soul up with violent entertainment, which helped push him over the edge and actually literally trained him to do what he did.
Yeah, you mentioned Paducah in Kentucky a couple times there in your answer. The second point you made there, Jack, have you found that it's a pattern to threaten before an attack is carried out? Is that necessarily the case?
Well, it certainly was in Red Lake, Minnesota. It was where the kid, Jeffrey Weiss, Native American, uploaded to the internet a flash game version of Grand Theft Auto Vice City in which he was basically predicting what he was going to do. Same was true of Carneal. He told people that something was going to happen that day, and people didn't show up who knew something might happen, weren't sure that it would. So there are generally clues, 20/20. Hindsight's always 20/20, sure, obviously, but sometimes there are specific warnings, Bill, by the perpetrators that something's going to happen. Unfortunately, these things are happening increasingly. The worst school shooting on the planet's history prior to this was in Erfurt, Germany. Robert Steinhauser killed 16.
Yeah, I remember that.
The authorities in Germany went to his home. They found 52 shooter games that he had immersed himself in, most notably Counter-Strike Half-Life, which was his game of choice, even to the point of dressing up like the hero in that game for his assault. So that involvement of video games in that instance actually changed the election in Germany and has changed the law in Germany because of the central role of these murder simulation games in that event. Do
Jack,
I know whether or not this kid, whoever this was in it? I don't, but I expect he will.
Let me just ask you a deeper society question here. Daniel Smith was on with Jane a few moments ago, and he said he was shocked. He's lived now through Columbine and 9/11, and now he's a student at Virginia Tech. How are these events shaping young Americans, do you believe?
Well, Bill, you know, the world is not the same. America is not since Columbine. Peggy Noonan, the great speechwriter, for Ronald Reagan, wrote that with Columbine, a line was crossed. It was a point at which American parents figured out that what our children are swimming in, that we call pop culture, is actually raw sewage that is affecting their health and the safety of others. That's what she wrote. Freedom in our schools now is demonstrably contracted since Columbine. We have metal detectors in schools, bars on windows. You can't conceivably make a campus like Virginia Tech secure because of the volume of students and the openness of the campus. Anyone who saw the great movie Capote, for which Philip Seymour Hoffman won the Oscar, at least through that cinematic experience, that event of the killing of 3 people in a Kansas farm town changed Kansas forever. What we all know now, if we didn't get it before, is that in a country where there are more guns than people, in a country in which pop culture glamorizes this type of event, there is literally no place to hide. And it's any parent who takes their kid to school next fall should say a prayer. I'm sorry, I'm here with my 14-year-old son, and I say this prayer every day when I take him to his school. They will pray and say, God, keep my child safe today, because I know there are no guarantees. And unfortunately, there are no guarantees. There is no place to hide, and we're all at risk, and we got to do something as best we can about it.
So eloquent. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Bill.
Jack Thompson, by telephone. He's an attorney and a specialist. Unfortunately, we can use that word in school shootings in America today, a specialist when it comes to these events, and he's been a proponent for more enforcement and for better policies, and now he has another one to add to his list to try and tackle.
Incredible death toll.